What's good, y'all? It's your boy Santo G, man. Back at it with another chapter, man. So, today in this chapter, I'm going to talk about me getting to Silmar Juvenile Hall and pretty much my 2 years of being in Juvenile Hall and fighting my case going back and forth through the court process. So, I already touched on how I was in East Lake for 3, 4 days and then they sent me straight to adult court. And then from adult court, they sent me to the compound in Silmar. So when I got to the compound in Silmar, it was the receiving unit in Silmar is on Y1. They have Y1, which is the whole pretty much for the compound, and it was also the receiving unit. You pretty much go to Y1, and then from there, there's X, W, Y, and Z. It's 4 units. The compound consists of 4 units. Those of you who are familiar with the compound, you guys already know. Those of you who are not, it's Silmar. It was called Barry J. Neidorf Juvenile Hall. And in that juvenile hall, it was pretty much they go by letters, you know what I mean? The units. It goes from A to Z. And X, W, Y, and Z was pretty much in the middle, and it was caged off from the rest of the other compounds. All the outside compounds, they're going to like camps and stuff like that. And the middle compound, which is X, W, Y, and Z, those were the people that were fighting adult cases and were going to adult court. So I end up in Y1, and when I get there, they have an inmate KP from Y2 that comes to Y1 to pretty much serve the food, you know what I mean? Because you're in your cell, pretty much. Meanwhile, they determine where they're gonna house you. So one of the homies, I don't remember his name, but he ends up coming to my cell and he pretty much, asked me where I'm from, everything, you know what I'm saying? And I end up telling him, he's like, hey, your homeboy is over here on my side, you know what I'm saying? Um, my homeboy Little Triste was already there and he had been busted for a year. For those of you who have been watching all my other videos, I touched on the first time that I seen a dead body. Well, the homie had got busted for that case. He had got busted for that murder. So I hadn't seen him in a year. Fast forward, this was the beginning of 2007. Now it's the beginning of 2008. So they tell me like, hey, your homeboy's over here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, like that's what's up, tell him I sent mines, you know what I'm saying? And he ends up coming and talking to me. He's like, hey, I'm gonna try to get you over here, boy. Like if they send you somewhere else, just as soon as you get there, just flight someone so they could send you back to the hole. And then when you come back, I'll get you to my unit. You know what I'm saying? So they end up um I end up going to see committee or what, I don't know what it's called in juvenile hall. I don't remember, to be honest. It's been a while. But I end up going to see committee, you know what I'm saying? And they end up telling me that I'm going to W. So they come, they get me, and I go to W. And as I'm going in, everyone's inside themselves, their cells pretty much. The only person that's out there is the KP. He's out there mopping and sweeping and stuff. So they're putting me inside my cell, and I don't, I just, I don't know if what happened, to be honest. Someone yelled something, and I just started like, woo, 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 talking to somebody like through the door. Somebody had yelled something. I think they had asked like, where you from or something, but I had just started flashing like, woo, woo, woo. And I didn't even fight with no one. But the lady that was transporting me, like moving me at the time, she seen that and she was like, oh no, you know what? Like you're going back. She like, you're going back. You're not trying to listen to me. Like you're going back. So she took me back. And that's when I ended up back in Y1, but it happened so quick that this happened at night. So in the afternoon, there was some lady, Miss Robledo, you know what I mean? She was cool. and she worked the unit Y, you know what I'm saying? So she had seen me already there for like a week, and then she seen me the next day that I was still there. She thought that I was still waiting to get placed. She didn't know that I had already went over there and I had came back. You know what I'm saying? So then she comes to work the next day and she sees me there and she tells me like, "Hey, you want to work for me, you know? Like I know you already seen committee, they haven't placed you. I know you're not in the hole. You want to work for me?" So I'm like, "Oh yeah, like it's good." Like I was gonna be her KP. So I'm like, "All right, cool, you know, let's do it." So I'm out there, I'm serving the food and stuff, you know, cause we in the hole. So I'm serving the food and everything, and then that's when old boy from Insane, he was there because he was I'm not sure what happened to him, but he had went to CYA. For those of you who were in the compound and you guys know about the big dude from Insane, I think they called him LK Ugly. I think they called him Ugly from Insane, but he was big. Anybody that knows him, he was big, like stocky. So he was like on suicidal watch type to where you have staff sitting down and your doors open. You know what I'm saying? Those are for people, I guess, that feel like they want to hurt themselves. So to prevent that, they have your door open all day and they have a staff sitting down in a chair in front of your door. You know what I'm saying? So I guess normally, since he was right there and he wasn't in the hole, they would have him helping out. You know what I'm saying? But since the lady, Miss Robledo, she didn't really like him because she knew that he was just trouble and he was there because I think they were trying to say he had got the green light in YA or something and they just couldn't house him there, so they housed him in the compound because he wasn't even fighting his case no more or anything. He wasn't going to court. He was just being housed there. I don't know why, but I guess she didn't like him, so she seen me there, so she put me out to work. So I'm working, and as I'm working, he tells her like, "Hey, he left and came back. Like he's hating on your boy." And I'm like, "Hey, G, like kick back, you know?" And I just remember the staff that was watching him was some white lady. I don't remember her name, but at the time, I like, I like, you know how when you talk or something and then you gotta like spit a loogie type. So I like did that, and I was by the trash can. You know what I mean? I was gonna spit it out. So when I did that, she's like, "No, no, no, stay back, stay back. You know, go spit in the trash." I'm like, what? Made it seem like if I was trying to spit on old boy type. You know what I'm saying? And he already wasn't out there. You know what I mean? He's on suicide watch. He's already not out there. So when she says that, it kind of like instigates it. So it goes back to now I'm using the bathroom. To be honest, I'm taking a masa. Your boy using the bathroom. I flush, I get up, and then I look forward, and I just see him like run because everything's glass. You know what I mean? So I just see him run, and then next thing you know, like, I just square up, and boom, that's when he cracks me, and then that's when I got my shit split open. When I told you guys my first week, I went to the hospital and got stitches. That's the story behind it. You know what I mean? Um, as I was telling you guys that with chapter 3, it just brought everything back. Like, so pretty much, those of you who know, as far as in the halls, there's like a little wall, you know what I mean? That's the only thing that separates this stall from the next stall. Cause everything else in the front, it's all glass, you know? So there's a wall. So pretty much square up when he cracks me, I hit the wall and I bounce back up and we're able to still square up, you know what I'm saying? So that ends up happening and I end up going to the hospital. And when I come back from the hospital, since I had already seen classification, they sent me to Y2 where the homie was at. You know what I'm saying? So I end up where the homie's at. And not only that, remember I told you the homie that had pretty much came and told me that my homie was on the other side? Now I remember it was the homie from Latin Times. It was the homie Shadow from Latin Times Pacoima. Shout out to you, my boy. He's the one that had told me like, "Hey, your homeboy's over here and we'll do it." Woo. So when I come back, I find out that while I was in the hospital, he had found out what happened and he had rushed old boy for me. So now I get back and I'm pretty much getting all my stuff and I'm going to the other side and the homeboy's in the shower. You know what I mean? I look and the homeboy's in the shower right there rinsing off and shit. I'm like, what's happening to the boy? They're like, oh, he's rinsing off the pepper spray. He just rushed old boy for you. I'm like, oh shit, like you know what? Good looks and pretty much, I mean, juvenile hall. I mean, as I could tell you, my first fight started with someone that I didn't even necessarily beef with or anything. So for juvenile hall, it's pretty much it's a fair game. You know, anybody looks at you wrong, anybody says anything that you don't like, you pretty much getting down. You know what I'm saying? It was rough because at the time you have all these teenagers fighting life sentences and they're going to court hearing bad news and then now they're coming back and it's like if you guys don't get along or if you rivals, even though you probably already done got down once and you're in the same building, if they come back and they feel a certain way, they might tell you like, hey, we're gonna run that again, you know what I'm saying? Or say you have two you have two people, right, that you beef it with, right? And you have another homie in another building and so do they, right? If you find out that your homie ends up running it with them, then you gonna run it with them again. So it's like it was you were constantly fighting, but the greatness about why is that why was known for the Thunderdome. And the Thunderdome is pretty much we had two COs, two with staff at the time. You know they're not COs, they're staff. But one was Raza and one was a Moreno. You know what I'm saying? And one was your boy G and the other one was your boy D. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? So G pretty much, if it was in the daytime and anyone got into it, you just let them know. And they had room 37, which was the room in the corner. Nobody was ever in it. They just had it open. So if you got into it with someone, you just got that old boy like, hey G, look, check this out. We don't want to have a live fight in your fucking day room. What's up? Open the room for us. And he used to go in there, open the room. He used to go in there, stand in the middle. He's tell you, you ready to go? You ready to go? Boom. Let you guys get it. And if somebody falls though, he used to stop him. Like, hey, hold on. Get up, get up. You ready to go? You ready to go? Woo, woo, woo. You know what I mean? But you gotta give him 3 rounds. You gotta give him 3 rounds. If he was gonna set something up like that, you gotta give him 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? You can't just try to tap out. No, you gotta give him the 3 rounds. And your boy D was the same way, you know what I'm saying? But except with him, it was more or less like if you guys, once you guys got it, or if he seen somebody getting fucked up too much, he'll stop it, you know? But your boy G was ruthless. He's like, fuck that. I want my 3 rounds, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that was Unit Y. And I guess they did that because as far as the staff, if they had a building that went a certain amount of time without incidents, like without live fights, people getting down, they got a bonus. You know what I mean? And on top of that shit, we would throw a barbecue. They would throw a barbecue for us like every 6 months. It was like every 6 months that we went without it being live fights, they throw a barbecue. So anybody that got there, we would like say if since I already knew, like I said, I was there for 2 years. So anytime that an enemy got there and they were trying to like run their mouth and woo woo, I tell them straight up, like, hey, chill, you know, like we're gonna set it up, you know what I mean? Like just, you know what I mean? Pretty much what we used to tell them is if you go live, that's some leva shit, you know? If you go live, you leva, homie, you know what I'm saying? Because we got it to where we could set it up and we could go inside the motherfucking cell and really get it in. Why we gonna risk getting pepper sprayed and all that for a couple seconds? You know what I'm saying? So we used to just get it out the way and just tell everyone, you know what I mean? If you go live, you drop leva, homie. You know what I mean? And that's the way it was. At least right there in Y in my building, you know, that's the way it was. Hmm. But yeah. I also wanted to talk on as far as the way we had it right there set up, the COs or staff, man, they used to show love, man. They used to show love. Talking about your boy walking around with a white pro club, gray pro club. had the Old Spice body wash, you know what I mean? Had all that good stuff. And if you had money, then you could pay someone bring you some McDonald's or something, you know what I mean? So I gotta say, Juvenile Hall was, even though it was rough because you was fighting a lot, it was lovely in the aspect that you pretty much could get anything you wanted. You know what I mean? For my 17th birthday, and this is no cap, man. Right hand of God. For my 17th birthday, I had an actual Patron bottle in the sale, and I smoked at least like two fat ass blunts back to back. You know what I mean? Because the COs that were there in the night, there was some OGs from 6-0, and they were cool. You know what I mean? At the time, it was cool as fuck. Like if you had money enough to where, you know what I mean, your people looked out, give them like $50. You know what I mean? They'll bring you a half ounce of some stress. You know what I mean? Some backdoor stuff, but in there, you know what I mean? Like it was cool. Like we didn't have nothing else. We were all stressed out, so you know what I mean, just blazing, just to pretty much escape for a little bit. But yeah, my 17th birthday, one of them did me the, and they brought me a Patron bottle, man, and your boy was in there getting ticked, you know. And pretty much I did that. I ended up getting my GD though. Throughout this whole thing, I had a celly, man. Shout out my boy Shaggy, man, from AK Locals. You know what I mean? From he was like over there by North Hollywood. You know what I mean? But I just that was my celly at the time, and they were having GED classes. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to get his GED, but he didn't want to go out to the classes by himself. So he got me to go with him, and we started taking the classes. And your boy ended up getting GED. You know what I mean? I ended up getting my GED in 2009, which is actually the same year that I would have been walking the stage in the streets. So it was kind of good, you know, to be able to do that. My mom came, you know, my brother came, and to be able to do that, you know what I'm saying, as far as walk the stage and do that for my moms, you know what I'm saying, and hand her my tassel and my cap and gown, you know. It felt good to be able to do that, and I'm always gonna be grateful to my boy Shaggy for that, because if he would have never told me like, hey, my boy, let's go take these classes, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't have took those classes, and I wouldn't have had my GED today, you know. But yeah, man, I guess we're gonna cut it right here. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this, and I'm gonna come back with a chapter 5 tomorrow, man. Boy Santo G, man. Let's get it.